How's that going? Is it fun?
It is. It's a lot of fun. It's it's a big production. We're on sound stages in Vancouver, and these sets are mind blowing. I've never worked on anything like it.
It's very different from your indie roots, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although Zach, I could see Zach doing an indie film. He's got the right personality. He's a good leader, inspirational. That's what you need on indie film.
Or any film, right?
Yeah, yeah. But particularly when it's so, there's this panic that can set in on an indie film if you don't keep your thumb on it. Everybody just starts freaking out. It's like, we don't have any time. We don't have any money.
Right.
The sun's going down.
What are we gonna do?
We haven't shot anything. What's happening?
Right.
We're wrapping tomorrow.
So how did you first get involved with Take Shelter? Was it something that you knew you wanted to do, working with Jeff again?
Oh yeah. I did Jeff's first film, Shotgun Stories, and I just think he's wickedly talented. I mean, I think he's gonna be like, I don't know. To me, he's like one of those, just throwback to the '70s. One of those guys from the '70s, like Rafelson or Ashby, or just one of those guys that just kicks ass. And he's so young still. I just think he's starting his next movie already. Yeah.
Well, he's hit 2 home runs, I think, with the first 2 films.
Yeah.
I love both of them, and they go well together. I
think
there's so many similarities between them.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. Yeah.
I mean, yes, you're in both of them, so that helps. But seeing Shotgun Stories and then Take Shelter, it's like almost the same character in a different phase of his life. Well,
yeah, I mean, Son's a little more dysfunctional than Curtis. Like Son's, he's not on the ball. Curtis, I mean, when Take Shelter starts, Curtis, it's hard to remember because the dreams start right away. But he's just a totally normal guy, and he's a good person and stable, solid, everyman kind of guy. Son's more, his wife left him, and he's playing
more of a fledgling,
blackjack
trying to
at the
grasp onto something.
Yeah.
I think Curtis is probably this is my opinion, but one of the best husbands ever portrayed on screen.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Because he's so committed. He doesn't waver ever.
Yeah.
Everything he does is to protect his family, whether it's from himself, because he's a threat, or from the world, which is a threat.
Yeah, and what happened with his mom, he says in the movie, he's like, I don't want to do that. After I went through what I went through with my mother, who abandoned him basically when he was a kid, he's like, I promised myself I would never do that to anybody. And it's tricky, because he doesn't. I don't think he really deals with what happened with his mother in any fantastic way. I think he just kind of avoids it and hopes it won't come up, and then, it's fascinating to me how the subconscious works. It's like there can be a little seed of something there dormant for decades, and then all of a sudden you have a dream one night and it starts.
You have to deal with
start going into the soil, and you're like, oh no, I thought I was safe. I'd escaped this, but the mind it's so weird because you would think it's like, oh, I control this. It's in my head, it's part of my body. I'm totally in charge of this, but it can get away from you. Yeah.
All right. So was there something about Curtis when you first read the script or first talked about the project that you connected with initially?
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, the thing that, what inspired Jeff to write the script was that he was going through the process of getting married and starting a family, and I was also going through a similar process. I mean, of starting a family and becoming a father and trying to take care of, and feeling just totally inadequate. Like there's no, it's funny, you give your parents a hard time, you're like, they just didn't understand at all what they were supposed to do. And then all of a sudden you have one, and you're like, And that's really the germination of the project. And I'd also been dealing with because it goes by very quickly in the film, but Curtis mentions that his father passed away
a year ago. He says, right?
Yeah. And my father had just passed away not too long before I started shooting it, so I was interested in. And that's, beyond just being sad, obviously, but it's an interesting experience because, whatever that example you had is not there anymore, particularly in Curtis's situation because, when his mom left, his dad was the one who took care of him, and that's gone. So what does that trigger in a man, particularly a man?
Right. Well, he's in a crisis, right? He's dealing with dreams of potential illness. Yeah. He lost his father. He has a daughter who needs a lot more, than the average child and a wife. Yeah. And then on top of that, he has this storm that may or may not be coming.
Right.
So I think it's very timely because I think as people are starting families now, people who already have families, they're totally freaked out.
Yeah.
Pumping gas can be a really traumatic experience. Which,
on a number of different levels.
Right. And then there's healthcare. Yeah. Losing your job, making enough money, getting a loan to do anything you need. So Curtis is dealing with a lot.
Yeah, it's great that Jeff, he puts all that in there. And, I think most people be like, I can't put all that stuff in a movie. That's not dramatic. I need, like a dinosaur or a spaceship or somebody with a cape. And Jeff's like, no, I'm just going to make a movie about, how this guy's going to lose his health insurance, and God bless him. I mean, I don't think he's by any means the only person in the whole world doing that, but he's certainly, I don't think there's a lot of people doing that.
Yeah, I think he does it in a very subtle way, yet the overall effect is quite thrilling or chilling. Yeah. It's very eerie.
Yeah.
How the simple things build to either
this storm,
you being crazy or there being a storm or both.
Yeah, exactly.